Well, this is one of those updates I don't like to make, but the purpose of my videos is to help other people and not make mistakes. So I voluntarily make the mistakes for you. Not on purpose, mind you, but this is something I made that famous error called assuming. So when I had the trailer set up, when I was putting the gorilla lifts on, I had the front, I guess I had it up a little bit so that it would fit on the ball there. Never occurred to me that one of the things you need to make sure of when you're going to do it, the tight limitations, because of the cable, the way I was putting it right to the end, that you better make sure that the trailer is in the precise configuration it's going to be when in use, as in where that's going to be located height wise, because here I am getting ready to use it the first time. Turns out I didn't have it in the right place. I'm at the end of my cables and I'm still 4 inches off the ground. So now I'm gonna have to move these bolts back even farther. Drill another hole. Never even occurred to me that I had it in the wrong place. So we're gonna call this an addendum. I'm attaching this to the other video because phooey is all I have to say. I'm gonna have to use it today like this. I guess I'm gonna jack up the front end a little bit and get back to this when I can. Alright, while I'm thinking about it, there's my solution for now. That's what I normally put it on, so I have to jack up the back end, the front end of the trailer to get this down here. The error I made, and it's something I gripe at people about all the time myself, for whatever reason this thing got stretched out so long, I didn't even think about it. Whenever you finish a project, job, whatever, what's the ultimate goal? Does it work? You must test it. You must test your final results. In this case, I'm gonna have to have a second hole in this one too. Well, you know what? When I finish this, I am gonna write a nice little email letter to Gorilla Lift and let them know what I did and what happened and what I found, and the fact that I've run out of cable, and maybe they want to address that, or at least they'll know ahead of time if somebody else has this problem. But for now, I gotta load this trailer. I got lots of things to move today, so perhaps next week I'll get back on this thing and move those holes, and then I'm really gonna have to weld up those holes. Still don't want that back 12 inches to break off. Hey caramba. Okay, well, I went back through the directions just to make sure I didn't miss anything, because once I started to figure it out, I kind of went off on my own and was doing it my own way. The very important step, which they didn't mention and I completely overlooked, was when you're going to do this, you best make sure your trailer is attached to where it's going to go. Because I assumed, I really didn't even think about it, where I had my trailer sitting. Turns out it was up a little high, not where the hitch was, even though this looks like it's kind of sitting down at the front. But that's where I'm gonna do it. This thing has to work. And as you can see, where I put the cables on it from where it was sitting before, they're too tight. I run out of room. I hit that clevis. So the first step when you start putting these cables on there is going to be make sure your trailer is attached to where it's going to be mostly used, I guess. Mostly used or used. What I'm going to have to do is move my mounting points back, which is going to give this thing some more slop. But like I said before, I don't have any choice. It's gonna have slack in here, you know. Of course, I already missed that one. Figured out how to do it better by using a pair of vice grips on the loop here, because hooking the little S hooks over here and then coming right over, that didn't work out. That's what happened here in this hole. And these cables, one recommendation would be to drop this whole thing when you get to that, don't even drop it before you even put these cables in there. Measure the difference, the length between that swedge and this center line of this hole, and you could drop an S hook, take this roller out. I'm going to take this roller out, drop that S hook on there, measure the distance from that the edge of that S hook and where that's going to be, and lower your tailgate and use that as a guide. In my case, since I'm already gone through this, I'm going to simply disconnect this, bring it down a little bit, because I actually want that swedge to be back about an inch would be sweet. Because say for instance you back this thing into a little gully, which brings the back of the trailer up, which means this tailgate has to come down farther, so it needs a little slop in there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring this thing down. I hate have to draw. I'm going to have to fill these holes in big time. Maybe put a patch over it, 'cause that one's going to have 3 holes in it. Anyway, take this roller out, hook your S hook on there, so when you drop it down you can measure it. Yeah, so I'm going to disconnect this thing, hook it up right here, and drop it and see how much room I got. I want that thing back a little bit, and that's why I end up putting these. There's going to end up being a bunch of slop right here, but like I said, there's no alternative on this one. This thing it takes, what did I say, 42 pounds of weight off the trailer, so off the tailgate, so it's still worth doing it. It's just interesting that there's no mention about where to position your trailer tongue height wise, because that controls where your tailgate goes, and how long these things are limited by that. So let's get to that, and then I'll go over this whole thing, what you should look at before you go to the next video and actually install this thing. You know, as I do this, it occurs to me, not only does it matter where the tongue is and height, it also matters where the tailgate's going to land. I'm going to say you're probably better off doing this whole operation on level ground, like in a driveway, something that's level. In my case, I can probably do that, but this is a real life situation for me, is this is where I use my trailer, so I'm going to go ahead and do it out here and give myself some slop. To the bottom, the center of the gate now is hitting. And the sides are, no, that one's there, but this one's got a little bit of slop in it, so I need to make sure I got a little slop. You'll see I have that much, not a whole heck of a lot. I went down 2 inches. You can see the difference there. I have to think about this, look at both sides, and decide as we go here. But that's something else you might want to think about. Maybe I can put this board, this piece of plywood under here, and level it out a little bit and see. Okay, well, I backed them both up, and I suggest getting some clamps and trying this before you that's much more accurate position than having them hang on the tailgate. In my case, they didn't compute, didn't transfer over. So now I've got about that much. And there. Not the same on both sides now. Trailer is now on the ground. But it gives me a little slop. That one's on the ground. Gives me a little slop in there. The trailer is nose down right now. So with it nose up, say if I was on level ground, I think I'd even have a little more leeway in the cable. So that's where I'm gonna go for. She's, well, I don't know what the difference, why the configuration is so bad here, but this is what I'm end up with. I'm gonna end up with sloppy cables. But I don't see any choice. Anyway, all right, so I'll do that. All the details will be in the other video. I'll show you what this looks like when I'm done, before you get to the other video. Okay, I'm gonna call this done for real this time. Move my holes. I gotta tell you, originally I started out up here. The hooks are up here. That's where I put it the first time, and realized that the cables weren't long enough, and I started moving back. A little slop there. A little slop there. Still have one-handed operation. This tailgate weighs 58 pounds, and now is 16 pounds. Oops. Shouldn't do that barefoot. Anyway, so this is what I end up with. But, well, I'd say I'm satisfied. I have one-handed operation on my tailgate. Didn't work out as easy as it seems in the directions, but take that into consideration when you install this thing, and if you care to, look at the other video and show you the whole deal on what this one took to get to this when I get around to filling these holes up. But I don't need to see that, so I could have just left it the way it is, but the point of my videos are let me screw up something and figure out how it really goes together, and then I can save you the hassle of learning by your mistakes. You can learn by my mistakes. Pretty much usually end up working out at the end. Okay. Like and subscribe if you so choose. As they all say, that really helped me out. Alright, thanks. On to the next one.